All right, and here we are. We are live tonight. Glad to have you all with us. I'm going to let you guys get the notification bell, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. I want you all, I think we're going to have a lot of participation tonight. Class of 2021, the first signing period is underway, and after just loading up on some tacos, my first meal of the day, I'm running on fumes, but I'm also probably hitting a wall a little bit, so I'm going to hit some Diet Coke, and I'm going to take a lot of your questions tonight. But 19 signees. Obviously, there was a few things that didn't go LSU's way today, but there was a whole lot that did. I think we're going to have a whole lot of prospects to cover in the next 6 weeks. A lot more than I think a lot of us thought we would have a few months ago. But that's a good thing. So what do you guys think of the class? Please do me a favor, share this on your Facebook, hit the like button if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, and we appreciate all you guys doing that for us. And as we've been growing our live feeds every week. Robert Williams, Michael, what's up? Let's see. Dustin Brazard, Davis, who we talking about? Jason Neal, Mike, Charlie Viatar, what is your gut on Corey Foreman? I don't think LSU's in it. I don't think they've been in it for a while. In fact, I didn't even see what any of the dust was today. But it sure seems like USC to me or Clemson, one of those two. You guys may know more about it than I have. I've been so tunnel vision on LSU. I really have not followed what other people, what other schools are doing, because I haven't considered LSU a factor with Corey Foreman in a while. So if any of you guys got your thoughts on that, let me know. I want to pull up some of the national rankings tonight. Let's see where LSU's falling at. One of the top 5 classes last I saw, number 4 right now. And with Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia. Of course, Alabama goes in and picks LSU's pocket today. Keanu Cott, JoJo Earl. You know, look, JoJo Earl's a really fantastic wide receiver. The fact that you lose him in Alabama is bothersome. It's probably aggravates the heck out of everybody that's an LSU fan, and certainly every LSU coach in the football building. But that said, I think Keanu Cott might have been a little bit more of a one that upset them just as much, a defensive end. Wide receivers aren't going to kill LSU. That's not a huge need. They've got a bunch of them in the class, bunch of them returning, and this state produces them every year. Here we go. Max Prep Leak USC. I did see that, Bo. I wasn't, but what I had seen was an image that I wasn't sure if they had pre-made it and if it was accurate or not. But yeah, Chase Hoyt, who's been valuable to me all day long. I tell you what, I get off radio shows and doing a bunch of things I needed to do. Jacques Doucet at noon on WFB, and Chase has been the man with keeping me in the loop while I'm looking in the other direction. Let's see here. Hugh Schubert, did LSU get the O-line recruits they wanted? No, they did not, but they're also not out of it with some recruits. I put out a feature tonight on tigerbait.com, where do things stand and what's left. I was told at about 6:30, I reached out to a source and said, hey, man, are we all done tonight? Can I go get a meal? And they said, yeah, go get some food. So I was told they were done for the night. So I know there's some scuttlebutt out there that maybe that's not the case, but I was told they were. Armani Goodwin went down a little after 6 o'clock, get the running back to go along with Corey Connor. Logan Diggs from Rummel had said earlier that he was going to wait until February. So I think the ones right now, as far as Faye's question, obviously Tristan Lee, I think that was on one hand it was a negative, but I think where LSU was sitting this morning, it was a positive that Tristan Lee said he was going to sign in February rather than do it today, because I think had he been pushed to do it today, it might not have been LSU. I think he's legitimately torn between LSU and Florida. Everybody knows about the reports of his girlfriend looking to attend Central Florida. The short drive from Gainesville to Orlando, I think that's a factor. I don't think any of us who are adults can tell him about how many girlfriends that you might go through in your teens and 20s. Maybe she's the one, but I think most people aren't choosing their colleges based on where girlfriends are going to college. Let's see here. I'm sure you guys will hammer me in the chat for that, but maybe I'm being old-fashioned. Let's see. Michael Calvaruso, what options for offensive linemen are out there? Tristan Lee, of course, who I just mentioned. I think Kimo Macchianoli, another guy who earlier in the week made a tweet where he was basically reaffirming his love for Florida State and his commitment, and then this morning says he's not going to sign. LSU would love to flip him. And Jordan Moko from Snow College in Utah is a guy to watch out for. And then you've got Eric Wilson, who is a grad transfer from Harvard who was committed to Auburn, and like multiple kids, because of the season that Auburn had and now looking for a head football coach, he's a possibility for a guy to watch out for. So those are just some of them, and we'll see if there might be some other names out there. But I think they need at least two more, and then convince as many of the current upperclassmen on the roster to return as possible. Let's see. Chili Vic, that was unexpected with JoJo Earl. It was, but for the last few weeks there had been some smoke there. I know some people in Texas thought it was going to be A&M. Damian Craig, I was told, was really poisoning the well. It could be that Damian Craig, who's not one of the most pleasant assistant coaches in football. Not a whole lot of people at most of the destinations he's been really care for him. But I know, of course, we saw what happened after the 7 overtime game involving him. He's a real jerk. He's out there poisoning the well, so maybe him poisoning the well hurt LSU, but in the end it helped Alabama in getting JoJo Earl. Let's see here. John Swallow, we going to look into Juco or transfers? No doubt. Like I mentioned earlier, got the kid at Snow College, got the Harvard kid, grad transfer. Liam Shanahan, of course, is already at LSU, so had some luck with Ivy League transfers. Jason Neal. By the way, did you guys see my top 15 that I put out last night? Would like your opinion. I wasn't being provocative when I made Savion Jones the number 1 player in Louisiana. I've been looking at it for a long time. I don't think there's anybody that does what I do in Louisiana who's maybe one other guy. But any of the guys regionally or nationally that cover football recruiting, I don't think any of us seen as many Louisiana prospects in person during the football season as I have. And I had him over Mason Smith, Savion Jones from St. James. I just think he's a beast. Like I said in my write-up last night, I think he's a combination of Barkevius Mingo and Jadeveon Clowney. Untapped ceiling galore. It's going to be, I think, crazy to see once he gets on campus the type of muscle that he'll put on in quick fashion, particularly with that, not only with the weight room at LSU, but that new nutritional center. It'll be so easy. But Jason, back to your question. Look, when you get Mason Smith and Landon Jackson, Savion Jones, I don't think there's any issues there. He truly wants to sign with his teammates. I talked to Coach Valdez this morning about it. When you get Savion Jones in the fold, along with Mason Smith, Landon Jackson, we'll see what happens with Rayshawn Davis. I don't think that one's going to be. I think that one's still a possibility. And then you've got the linebackers, Carter, Penn. I like the defensive line. It wasn't a huge need in this class. You get those three that I mentioned, along with the linebacker group. And then with what's already there, what you'll convince to return and take that free year, Jaquel and Roy another year, Ali Gaye another year. How good is Ali Gaye? Is he going to be next year? Bijo Ojolari. There's multiple guys that are part of last year's class that we didn't see a whole lot of this year that I think are going to have big years next year because of having an additional year, and hopefully we have a spring football practice with no issues with COVID and it goes off the way we hope it does. As always, I want to thank Pride Roofing for being our sponsor of our midweek show, the premier roofing company in South Louisiana. I talked to Mike Faraday earlier today. They opened up a new office in Gulfport. They've got multiple offices in Lake Charles and Sulphur. What did he say? They've got one in Laurel, Mississippi now. It's incredible, the growth of Pride Roofing. And like I said, you cannot beat Mike Faraday and Alex and that whole group with them. If you've got any roofing needs or need repair, whether it be commercial or residential, he was telling me that they do a lot of their fabrication in-house on the metal, all the flashing. They do their own fabricating on that, whereas their competitors buy a lot of stuff off the rack from distributors and it's not as thick. So Pride Roofing, your absolute best bet if you've got any roofing issues. A lot of people were hit by storms and are still trying to get what they need in that regard. And like I said, the number one company, they're St. Tammany, Tangipahoa, Gulfport, Sulphur, Lake Charles, Laurel, Mississippi. You name it. They've got you commercial, residential, free inspections. They use the Xactimate software, which is the same software your insurance adjuster is going to use. They have the best in the business warranty on their labor, 5 years plus. And Mike Faraday, I go back with him to childhood. You couldn't find better people. He's an LSU grad, a Broadmoor High School grad. And give him a call at the number right there, 225-275-2041. And please, please, if you give him a call, tell him that Mike at tigerbait.com referred you. And it could be that you just need a roof or you're wanting to know how much longer you've got on your roof. Maybe you got a year and you want an idea of the price. Give them a call. They give you free estimates. Nobody better than Pride Roofing. And we love having them on as the official roofing company of tigerbait.com. Dale Broussard, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you put this class? I tell you what, if they finish with, they still need to get Tristan Lee. Look, I know you can, say, look, if they can get a lot of those upperclassmen return, that's one thing. We still don't know what exactly you're going to get out of Anthony Bradford, Cardell Thomas, or Thomas Perry. Not going to throw stones or make any judgments on Xavier Hill, Doomerville, Martinez, and some of those guys that have only been there a year. But you do need to continue to recruit like you don't know what you're getting from those guys, if anything. And so you need a solid group to bridge the gap until you get to next year, where you've got two great ones in state, Will Campbell at Neville and Emory Jones at Catholic High Baton Rouge. Two guys which I've said over and over, I think both those guys are future All-SEC offensive linemen. Absolutely fantastic. Coach Fertitta and his group at Catholic High and what they do with offensive linemen. I loved watching Catholic High's offensive line this season. And, of course, now they're on their way to play for a state championship. And there's going to be some really good games in a couple of weeks up in Natchitoches. Kevin Bubba Dunn, any Savion update? Like I said, when I interviewed Savion 2 Fridays ago in the interview that's in the story about me ranking him number 1 in the state last night. That interview I did with him was 2 Fridays ago when they beat Sterlington. And, of course, they lost at Church Point last Friday night. Savion told me then that he wasn't going to sign with LSU today. But my initial thought was, is it a deal where, yeah, he is going to sign, but LSU's not going to release it because he's going to want to be there on signing day in February, where they do a big to-do at St. James with all the kids in the program that sign scholarships, whether it be major, mid-major, FCS, whatever. And so I thought he was going to end up signing, and then they changed their mind. But I don't think it's any issue with somebody lurking in the wings. But hey, we've seen crazy stuff happen. I just don't see it. Coach Valdez assured me this morning, and I think he's told other media outlets similar. Look, there's still 2 days left. Maybe they ended up faxing it in 20 minutes ago and we don't know about it, or maybe they're going to do it tomorrow, or maybe they're going to do it Friday. Either way, I don't think there's anything to worry about with Savion Jones. So we'll see how this plays out. Kyle Williams, Bryce Langston can replace Keanu Cott. Yeah, I think the thing with Bryce is I know a lot of people have been concerned with him throughout the recruiting process. What does his transcript look like? I know there was some questions out there, but a lot of times people overblow that. I was told this morning that he's well within shot of being able to qualify. We'll see how that plays out. We thought maybe he might have gone down this evening right after Armani Goodwin, but I was told that they were done for the night. So let's see. Chance Babin asked a similar question. Think we got any other secret signings today? No, I don't. Unless Savion did something and I don't know about it. But here we go. Emmanuel Hickerson. I don't know if Emmanuel's actually in Vacherie. But he says Savion Jones is coming, insider alert. I love Savion Jones. I love St. James. I tell you, I was telling Coach Valdez today, I've been out there several times in the last several months. Nicest people, Coach Valdez and his staff. It's the new stadium, the players. There's a bunch of happy mood people in that football program. And best jambalaya in any high school football stadium. And they even gave me some pastalaya to go after that game against Sterlington. And when I got home at midnight and ate that, man, it was best pastalaya ever. Although I think Catholic Point Capiz pastalaya that they sell in the stadium still rates right there with it. Okay, Esteban. Any update on Moko out of Snow College? He tweeted out, about 4 or 5 days ago that he was going to put out a top 10, I believe it was. He's got a long ways to go. I think he's going to be a tough pull because everybody's wanting him. Any major school that came up short today on offensive lineman is going to be making a beeline for him. So, hopefully LSU's doing more than everybody else and personalitying it up with him. Australian, I don't know what you do with him. Do you get Jamie Keene or Brad Wing on the phone with him to give him the thoughts from an Australian perspective of Baton Rouge and LSU? So we'll see. I'm scrolling up, guys. I know I missed a lot of you. Dustin Bazar, Bo Pelini, is he gone? SC retiring? I tell you what, we've been hearing that for several weeks. Like Preston and I said in our postgame show Saturday night after LSU beat Florida, had the train already left the station on Bo Pelini. I was told today that, there's going to be a number. I think 2 weeks ago I set the over and under is about 4 for the number of coaches currently on the staff that would be back next year. I don't know, maybe is that number 5 now? I think somewhere in that sweet spot where you're talking about maybe half the staff is different next year. I think that's a healthy thing. I think, look, one of the things, and it's something that we've seen ever since Jerry DiNardo, you've got a lot of people in the building across, it's not just the assistant coaches, it's support people. There's people in that building that go back to the early 90s, if you go out and you hire a brand new coach, most of the time they want to clean house and bring in everybody new. And whereas LSU, with each coaching change, a lot of the same people have stayed in the building. And I'm not saying that a lot of those guys are not doing a good job, because a lot of them are excellent people. But sometimes you need to make somewhat of a clean slate. So I'm going to see how Ed Orgeron does that. Obviously he brought in, after he got elevated from interim to head football coach, some of the guys that maybe didn't support him in his quest to be the coach went by the wayside, including that jackass Damian Craig. Some of those guys went by the wayside and didn't have a position when he started filling his spot. So we're going to see how this plays out here in the coming weeks. Chance Babin, yes. It sucks losing 2 kids to Bama, but glad it wasn't in-state players. Yeah, no doubt. That's one good thing that Ed Orgeron and the staff have done a very good job of really, keeping the kids home. Ashley Paxton Duncan. Hey, that's a lady from Ascension Parish and East Ascension. Let's see what we got here. No questions, Ashley? Let's see here. PJ Hectic from YouTube. JoJo is probably my favorite commit. Yeah, look, he excites a lot of people. A guy, gets in space, can do some damage, return man and special teams. And that's one of those things where not only do you hate losing him, but now you can see him busting a big play on you in the coming years. And I can just imagine what it was like and not only what Keanu caught last night, which Sal Sinceri on Alabama staff was at LSU under Nick Saban years ago. I understand he was out there doing a number to help get him flipped. And then JoJo Earl today, and it's like, just think of all the hours that the coaches, Ed Orgeron, other assistants, the guys in the recruiting office, player personnel office, all the Zoom calls, the phone calls, the conversations with family members, the particular recruits. And then one by one, you get the rug pulled out from underneath you on a couple of kids who pretty much assured you there was no issues, and then they do that on National Signing Day. It's not a good look. Now you can flip it around and say, now Kari G's, being talked about as a linebacker, and that was sprung on him late. Last year you had Major Burns that, they went separate ways late in the process. I get it. There's a lot of things that can be hypocritical in recruiting. But yeah, the Alabama part of it, I think stings for a lot of people. And PJ is right. JoJo is a fantastic football player. But I don't think what athletes, whether it be wide receivers, defensive backs, are ever going to be an issue for LSU. It's been a long time since running backs have been an issue for LSU. Even a year when, you had Nick Brissett and Clyde really wasn't the Clyde that we saw that last year, and the hell of a job that those two backs did. LSU has always had some very good running backs. Athletes are not a problem for LSU. It's offensive line almost always, quarterbacks, and sometimes defensive line can be a problem, which then gets you in the debate as to whether you should be running a 3-4 or a 4-3. Because if you run a 4-3, you have to be very, very consistent recruiting top flight defensive linemen in numbers every year and not have too many misses. Wally Tarver, what are your thoughts on the running back who flipped from Auburn? Armani Goodwin, of course, did it right after 6 o'clock. A lot of people say that they remind him of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And then you got Logan Diggs at Rummel. I look at him, and those of you who are go back a little ways or not much younger than me, you remember Rondell Mealy, who played with Kevin Falk, who was recruiting him. He really does look like Rondell Mealy to me, Logan Diggs. But I like Armani Goodwin. That's another one that Auburn's sick to lose. A lot of people are picking at that Thanksgiving carcass, which is the Auburn recruiting class right now. Let's see what we got here. Luke Fielding, when do you think Langston pops? Let me check my phone. Let me make sure I haven't gotten any updates. I went crazy. Came to talk to you guys, and I'm not sure what I've seen here. Let's see. No, nothing new there yet. So I was told that they were done for the night. Does something happen tomorrow? Does something happen Friday? Is there a reevaluation? Does he end up saying, you know what, I'm going to wait and go till February? I think there's still some dominoes left to fall on Bryce Langston. Bryce Langston. Jeez, man, I'm getting tired. Blaine Smith, what's up, Mike? What are your feelings on Rayshawn Davis? I talked to an insider a couple of days ago, and I want to see now that the dust settled on the class today, what the thought is there. I will say that I think it's very encouraging that I'm watching Rayshawn and his dad on Twitter hitting the like button and so forth on a lot of positive LSU news. Just because he's not signing today, didn't sign today, or the remaining time left in the first period, doesn't mean that LSU's still not a big part of their thought process. You can really step back from that situation if you're him and say, as a linebacker, you're wanting to know who the defensive coordinator is going to be and who the position coach is going to be. And if LSU's going to hold a spot, why not wait a few weeks or into January to see who that's going to be? you know, as a parent, I might want to do that, particularly if I'm out of state. So we'll see. Blaine says also, he adds, Davis reminds me of Devin White. Jamie Brady, did Wheaton sign anywhere? Okay, one of you guys. What was it? Oklahoma for him? I'm pretty sure it was Oklahoma, wasn't it? I'm getting a little punchy here. I got 2 hours sleep last night. LSU really wasn't a factor with Wheaton, so I wasn't glued to him. Let's see. Yeah, Chance Babin did the same thing Alabama did to LSU, took 2 from Mississippi State. Although some will say that the 2 that Alabama took, you know, aren't what Alabama took from LSU. We'll see. New comments. YouTube Junkie, love the show. Thank you, YouTube Junkie. Glad to have you with us. You guys, please do me a favor, and I know a lot of y'all do it. Please hit the like button, share it on your Facebook, and if you're on YouTube, please hit the like button and share. It's really helping us with the algorithm and getting the word out on what we're doing at Tiger Bait with these live telecasts. Blaine Smith's peppering me with some questions. Savion Jones, is he a part of our class? Yes, he will be. So, yeah, I don't think there's going to be an issue there. Jared Schuler, does the decision by Layden to not make a commitment today make him look better for LSU? I think it does. I think it's a positive for LSU that he didn't sign this morning, because I think had he signed this morning, it very well could have been Florida. I think the fact that he was so torn and decided to go ahead and extend it out is a good thing for LSU. Unless he went ahead and signed with Florida and we don't know it, you know. We've seen crazy things in recruiting. But I believe Tristan, and he's not that kind of kid. I believe him. He's not going to be an early grad. So he's going to wait and sign in February. So we'll see how that plays out. By the way, go to tigerbait.com. I've got a complete wrap-up and more coming for premium subscribers. Do yourself a favor. If you're going to subscribe to Tiger Bait, choose the annual package, because that gives you 3 months free. If you do the monthly, you end up paying, you know, it's more expensive. Choose the annual, and that way it also gives you the what we call the spousal acceptance factor, the SAF. Whereas you only get billed once a year versus getting billed once a month. It's a lot more palatable, you know, and that way you can still throw it, if you're a guy, in her face that she's getting pedicures every month and you only got billed one time. All right, let's see. What about the 2 offensive line for Virginia Tech? I have not looked into that, Danny England. Ronald McGee asked again about Foreman. I think he's heading to USC. One of the media outlets looked like they leaked it, or was that just them putting out a graphic that they had pre-made and it's not accurate? I think he stays out west at USC. Why? Other than the fact that it's home, which is a big factor. I mean, I don't see USC's trajectory going up anytime soon as a program. Who are the 2 that flipped to Alabama? John Marion says that was Keanu Cott from Vero Beach, the defensive end, and JoJo Earl, wide receiver from Texas. Both of them had been long-term commitments to LSU and really did a number on LSU. Let's see what else. I think I pretty much got to all you guys. Let me do another y'all last call. I've seen everybody. Gaye's coming back is true. Is that true? Are you asking me if Gaye's coming back, or am I saying he's coming back and other people are differing with me? I don't see how he can go out. I mean, but guys do crazy things. I think he needs another year, and I think he will be devastating another year in a program like LSU. What makes him raw right now will continue to. He'll continue to flourish, and I think he's got a credible amount of upside. Sean Hesketh, and please forgive me if I'm brutalizing your name, not even an LSU fan, but I love your content. Super fun to listen to. You do a great job. Keep it up, man. Love it, Sean. Much appreciated. He's following us on YouTube. Let's see. What is the strength of this class? Ed Issam, what is the strength of this class and what is the weakness of this class? I think the strength of the class is obviously safety. Well, I'm just safety because of the numbers. I mean, you only needed one quarterback and you got a great one in Garrett Nussmeier. We thought it could be a class where you only wanted one running back. Well, now you ended up with Corey Kiner, who's Mr. Ohio football, and Armani Goodwin late in the day that Auburn highly coveted and reminds many of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's ripping it up for the Kansas City Chiefs and might be on his way to a Super Bowl ring. I know a lot of you Saints fans hope that's not true, but I think they're going to be tough to beat, and that's going to be a whale of a game this weekend. But I do think, look, the weakness is offensive line. They need to get a couple more guys in here. If they can get that Tristan Lee ironed out and get him back sold on LSU, and then add another guy, whether it's a grad transfer or a Juco kid, and then that tied you over to next year with Emory Jones and Will Campbell, then this class is absolutely a slam dunk. And you will have gotten about the guys you missed on today, because this class will be, I think it will be special. And 2022 in Louisiana is loaded. I think this year in Louisiana, you had the wild receivers, obviously, Besh, Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton, and others. You got Destin Hill in New Orleans that is out there that I've seen. But I think overall it's kind of a light year in Louisiana. I think when I was doing my top 15, I was really like, 1 through 6 or 7 was pretty much, guys that you think could be SEC starters. But beyond that, if you made my number 7, number 15, or vice versa, or anybody in between, it was really you can move them around and really not get much of an argument from a lot of people. So whereas 2022, this state is going to be fantastic. You've got a little bit of everything. So Crazy A, Tommy Moffitt is the freaking man, and this young team just needs a real offseason. I agree. I think Jaquelin Roy, what we've seen out of him, I think he's going to make a huge jump from year 1 to year 2. Would have liked to see more of Jacoby and Guillory this football season. Had COVID back in this early summer, had some injuries, high ankle sprain, this and that. So I think a lot of those guys are going to be much improved. Ojolari's going to pack on muscle. Gaye is going to go from being a raw Juco guy playing out of position to a second year in a major program. He's going to be a high draft pick a year from now. So I think that defensive front with LSU and then infusing some of these freshmen, I think the defensive front next year could be absolutely outstanding. And I'm not even talking about some of the upperclassmen that might opt to take another year. I think that's a real reason to be excited about next football season. And then don't forget, next year the schedule becomes a lot better, where you get Auburn, Florida, and Texas A&M rotating back in as home games. Anything new on Brian Thomas? Charles Kindler. Going to sign in February. I think it's an Alabama-LSU battle. A&M might still be hanging on. I need to go talk to my guys at Texags and Jason Howell, who I go back many years, and see how the dust has settled on them. Got Jordan Gilbert still out there that I know Texas A&M's recruiting from U-High. Jordan Gilbert's still out there. Is that still someone that LSU might want? I think LSU's got a lot of directions. But I tell you, usually you would think that right now you're going to go have a big signing day and there'd be maybe 2 or 3 spots, and January is going to be kind of uneventful. Between coaching changes, staff changes, and as much as people are interested into what goes on the inside of the program, guys that aren't your assistant coaches, but whether it be all your inside guys, a lot of people know them as household names. I think there's going to be so many moves. It's going to be an interesting late December and January. So a lot of things going to be going on TigerBait.com, and we really want you as a subscriber. By the way, on the front page of Tiger Bait right now, it's easy to find. You see Santa Claus holding up the digital gift card. Go in there. Give yourself a Christmas gift in a subscription to Tiger Bait, or if you're already a subscriber, give the digital subscription. Last year, I looked at the numbers of the guys that got gift subscription. Every single one of them renewed. So if you give an annual subscription to Tiger Bait to the LSU fan in your life for Christmas, they're going to use it every day of the year. They're going to get text alerts, our newsletters, our recruiting updates, all of our team coverage for football, basketball, and baseball. About to really go hog wild in the basketball. Will Wade's got a great basketball team, fun to watch. Baseball season, Paul Maneri's got to. I think he's got to do some big things. He's got a lot returning, so we've got it all for you. Alan says that LSU should go after the DC Steel. You know, that was something we talked about in the chat last week. Someone said no more retreads. People were bringing up Muschamp, Steele, and a bunch of other guys that are out there available. I'm real interested to see who Auburn's going to hire as a head football coach. I was listening to Feinbaum the other day on the radio on SEC Network or ESPN in the morning maybe, and he was talking about Cristobal at Oregon and he had Hugh Freeze, and I think they end up I'll take Billy Napier over Cristobal. I'll take Billy Napier at ULL over Hugh Freeze probably because you're not going to have the SEC looking at you because of the NCAA issues that he had at Ole Miss. I think Napier is going to be a guy to watch out for somebody here late. So, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I went 36 minutes, 2 hours of sleep last night, a long day. Go to tigerbait.com. We got a lot of recap. We still have our signing day chat rolling on the site, and I'll be checking in after I get a shower and maybe a dessert in here. So tigerbait.com. Thanks for being with us. Both of us will be in high school stadiums Friday night. I think Preston's going to do a show tomorrow night, our post-game show after the Ole Miss game. Hopefully LSU gets the win and finishes the season with an even record. You combine that with, I think, a really strong signing class today. Top 5 in the country right now, and I think they can build on it. Make some moves on staff, and you can quickly turn a lot of negative this season into some positives and get people excited heading into spring football. So we'll see you back here in the coming days on Tiger Bait, and we'll see you on tigerbait.com, the Tiger Den Premium Board. Thanks to Pride Roofing, and see y'all then on the other side. Good night.